look at what is happening here on Crissy Field now. There's a handful of people behind me, a couple dozen people anxiously waiting with their cameras and iPhones posed. They've been waiting almost an hour now. That's when the road closures began here at Crissy Field. We were watching parents leave. Planet Granite is a gym here, a climbing wall you might be familiar with. Summer camp technically gets out at 5 o'clock, but they told all the parents to come early because if they didn't, they were going to get stuck, and this is why. So a lot of police presence here. All the roads closed, waiting for Marine One to land at Crissy Field, and it just has. So we expect President Obama to get off the helicopter at any moment now. There's a line of cars and vans, the presidential limousine, waiting for him right there. And as far as we know, he doesn't have any planned events in San Francisco tonight. He's just staying here at the Intercontinental Hotel. And then this exact scene will play out again tomorrow morning because he'll be departing on Marine One from Crissy Field, headed back down to the peninsula to Stanford for the summit, which is the reason he is here. So you're watching now. People start to get off those helicopters, and we await to see President Obama as one of them. You probably have a better view than I do. Oh, I'm sorry. You're looking at the military helicopters there, Marine One, coming in just now. And it will be landing, and then we'll see President Obama get up. So it is, of course, lots of pomp and circumstance here to make these landings happen. A lot of road closures, a lot of people, a lot of vehicles, and multiple helicopters. Of course, you recognize Marine One now coming in for President Obama's overnight stay in San Francisco ahead of a summit down in Stanford.
Katie, this is now Marine One is touching down. You see that helicopter as part of the detail, as you pointed out, that landed ahead of the president, of course, to make sure everything is secure for the president. There you see some folks getting off of that helicopter as Marine One lands in the background.
Yeah, and he arrived at Moffett Field around shortly after 5 o'clock, and a lot of people greeted a lot of people there, and then finally took off for Crissy Field, and you see Marine One has just now landed, and so we're waiting for him to get off. And Katie, you can tell us a little more about what you're seeing.
Well, you'll have a better view than I do, Amma and Dan, with our camera zoomed in there. Of course, Marine One landing almost directly behind the military helicopters from our point of view, so obstructing our view a little bit. So my vantage point is quite distant. I won't even be able to see President Obama from here. Yes, Dan?
Katie, question, you know, when he landed at Moffett Field, there were dozens, maybe even more than that, maybe a couple hundred people there to greet him. What's it like around you? Do you see a lot of people standing around? Is there a receiving line or just spectators looking around?
Handful of people where I am, Dan, but of course people are gathered in pockets. The only places along Crissy Field here where the public was allowed to gather, and Planet Granite's still open, so people are inside there. So a couple dozen people where I'm standing, but when I look up and down the road here, I can see where other people have gathered further outside the perimeter. We're just all, you know, in our own little pockets here where we were allowed to stay.
And Katie, as you said, there's no known event, no planned event this evening, right? As far as you know, the president's not making any fundraising appearances.
Correct. Nothing planned. That's been released to the media anyway. And yeah, we only know that he'll be staying at the Intercontinental Hotel, and then we'll be leaving Crissy Field tomorrow morning for the main event, which is down in Stanford.
Yeah, that Global Entrepreneurship Summit, and we are keeping tabs on this, waiting for the president to step off of Marine One in San Francisco, Crissy Field, ahead of this summit that is taking place tomorrow. He landed at Moffett Field a little after 5 o'clock to a lot of people who are waiting there to greet the president.
Here is a duplicate helicopter, which is standard operating procedure, Marine One. You never really know which one the president is on, actually, from what I understand, but another helicopter touching down right now at Crissy Field in San Francisco. We hope to see here, as we share this with you live, the president step off and move his way across Crissy Field here in the next couple of moments. Once they land, he gets off very quickly. So
yeah, then it all becomes very abrupt. They take off in the motorcade, and he is off and running. But again, a lot of people gathered in Moffett Field to greet the president as he arrived on Air Force One, and we got to see him come off of there live. So we're waiting to see him exit Marine One in Crissy Field.
Katie, you still there? Can you tell us anything about what you're seeing? I know it's a good distance away. We're zoomed in, but
yes, you'll have to tell me what you're seeing. No, just waiting and watching. Yeah, a very exciting moment, of course, something a lot of people in this area didn't expect. I got a lot of questions. I've been out here for a couple hours. Who's coming? What's going on? Did something happen? And, happy to tell them that it was, everything was fine, that President Obama would be landing. And, most people didn't know. So, they don't go out of their way to publicize his travel schedule and where and when he'll be going. So I think it was a pleasant surprise for a lot of people who have now gathered here. But also there were a lot of people who were trying to get out of the way ahead of President Obama. They were here closer around 5 when the road started closing, and they would say to me, "Oh, I think I'll stick around then and watch that." And I said, "Okay, it's going to be in an hour." And they're like, "Oh no, okay, I can't wait that long. We'll watch it on TV."
Years ago, you're right. They don't give us too many details, understandably, about the president's movements for security reasons. Years and years ago, when I was a very young reporter covering President Reagan landing, I probably gave away nothing too secret, but I gave away probably more than I intended to or realized. I got a little talking to from the Secret Service who approached me on the tarmac. They were
That's
fine.
never good.
They were nice about it, but I learned a valuable lesson. It's interesting, Katie, I'm reminded as we watch here that the president has only a few more months in office, and in the next few months, the next time there's a presidential visit, it may be Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump arriving. We'll have to see.
Yeah, and of course.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Katie.
Sorry, I'm jumping in. I know you can't see me. One of the moms who came to pick up a handful of kids from summer camp here, I said, was this an inconvenience or whatnot? And she said, well, I had to leave a meeting early at my job, down in San Mateo, so I could get here in time to get the kids out ahead of the road closures. And I said, oh, is that an inconvenience at all? And she said, no, it's cool. Anytime President Obama wants to come to the Bay Area, I welcome him here. So that's one person's perspective.
Well, from our perspective, it looks like we may be seeing the president walking there. Again, we're zoomed in, but we're still kind of a
distance away. It looks like the president wearing sunglasses, but to be honest, it is hard to tell. I don't think that's him. He would probably stand there. I think they're.
It's hard to know.
We're extended as far as we can on our Zoom. That is the president, we're told. All right. Yes, we are. Everybody's nodding behind us in the newsroom. Yes, it is the president. They seem convinced.
Yes. So we'll go with that. Yes, so the president arriving in Crissy Field ahead of this Global Entrepreneurship Summit, which is happening tomorrow. And he arrived from Moffett Field, and we're waiting for Marine One to land here.
That'll be held at Stanford, the entrepreneurs. We saw a couple hundred people attending.
Yeah, and in fact, the gathering really kicked off today. Some big names in tech were there, including the CEO of Uber, the head of Airbnb was also there. The summit gives entrepreneurs